Welcome to the Newsa-Cast YouTube channel. These Red Smith Banquet throwbacks are exclusive interviews of sports legends, powerful media personalities, and influential coaches. You won't find these anywhere else. Subscribe below and enjoy.
All right, Newsa-Cast listeners, we're here on the YouTube channel, and we are bringing you the Bob Uecker throwback from 1983. Bob Uecker, the legendary Brewer broadcaster, not so legendary baseball player, but fantastic, just absolutely riot to listen to Bob Uecker in 1983. This is a guy that we grew up with, watched him on TV with Mr. Belvedere and the Johnny Carson Show. Read his book, The Catcher in the Rye. Not The Catcher in the Rye from J.D. Salinger. This is a completely different book. It's just a blast to listen to this. This is a guy I grew up with. He brought the Brewers to us when the Brewers weren't on TV all the time. It's a lot of fun. I think you're going to absolutely enjoy it. And if you get a chance, go back and listen to our podcast, the Newsa-Cast, wherever you find your podcast listening pleasure. Like, subscribe, do all those things. A few weeks ago, we had Tommy Lasorda. That was an absolute blast as well. He was so much fun to listen to. This is great. This is why we bring you these throwbacks, because we have archives that span the history of the Red Smith Sports Awards. So sit back, listen to Bob, and hopefully you enjoy it.
Raleigh Fingers is just throwing at 60%. The next guy I'm going to introduce, he throws it at 100%. We've been waiting all night for this gentleman, and we know he's going to do an outstanding job. Great announcer. Matter of fact, when Johnny Carson retires, he takes over. And we're so happy to have him here this evening. Let's give a big welcome to Bob Uecker.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much. Members of the head table, Reverend Father. Geez, I've heard a lot of crap up here tonight. Andy North talking about what the Greeks did. Gee. I thought this was a family deal, you know? Otto Graham watching the Super Bowl in Hawaii. Anyway, this is my first time here at the Red Smith dinner, and being around awards such as this, I have numerous trophies such as this. I think anybody, if you're willing to make a few sacrifices and pay the price, awards like this can be had. I know some of the bigger trophies I have cost me well over $200. I needed no introduction when I came in here tonight. I think that when the word baseball, champions is mentioned, my name would automatically come to your mind. A couple of years ago, I was honored as the native son from the state of Wisconsin, and I took an award really under false pretenses. I was not born in Wisconsin. I was born in Illinois. In 1935, my mother and father were on an oleo run to Chicago. On the way back toward Milwaukee, my mother got the pains. They pulled off into a rest area, a nativity type setting. exit light shining down. Three wise men standing around, two truck drivers and a baseball scout. And that's where she dropped me. Aided by the oleo. Two weeks after being born, weaning me off milk and putting me on beef jerky to toughen me up for the Cinderella story that was to take place later on down the road. I don't have to stand up here and tell you about all my accomplishments. I know you're all familiar with that. But I did not have the normal start that most youngsters have. Most youngsters, the father is the guy that really pushes them along. For me, it was my mom. My dad did not like athletics. I can remember my first competitive sport, 8th grade basketball. And I needed the essentials for grade school basketball, a supporter, a pair of tennis shoes, and my old man wouldn't put out the $2.50 for a supporter. So my mom made me one. Out of a Pillsbury flour sack. And I tell you, you walk into the gym and you whip that mother out of your bag. Right down the front it says Pillsbury's best. Plus the guy guarding you knows exactly where you're going. You know, little specks of flour keep dropping out. Attended Boys Tech High School in Milwaukee, and I think that was really the start of my downfall. You go to a prom at an all-boys high school. 1,800 guys standing around patting each other. I only went my freshman year. From there into the service, being awarded the Good Conduct Medal, sharpshooter, I picked them all up. And then signing a very, very modest $3,000 bonus with the Milwaukee Brewers at that time, which kind of aggravated my old man because he didn't have that kind of money to put out. The signing took place at a very, very popular restaurant in Milwaukee, and I told my old man not to be uptight or nervous about the signing, and I can remember pulling into the parking lot, and the Braves officials, and their car parked next to us, and I told my old man, look, it's not that big a deal. Don't be that keyed up about it. And, he screwed up right away. He didn't have the window rolled up far enough, and the tray fell off. And, but from there, as I said before, a Cinderella career with the Braves. The St. Louis Cardinals in 1964, where I won the World's Championship for them. Overseas, a year and a half to Philadelphia. And then back to the Braves in Atlanta. And I think, during every professional athlete's career, there comes a time when you know that your services are no longer required, that you might be moving on. And being with 4 major league clubs, I picked up a few of these tips. Gene Mauch at Philadelphia used to do little things to me to indicate I might be moving on. I'd be sitting on the bench, and he'd holler at me to grab a bat and stop this rally. Send me up there without a bat. Tell you to try for a walk. Maybe wear all the new shoes so the other players wouldn't get the blisters. Tell you you're playing a night game. You get to the ballpark and you find out they'd played that afternoon. Maybe to look down at the third base coach for a sign and have him turn his back on you. But I think many times a lesser man might have quit. Bat orders, 12 bats with handles at both ends. People have asked me many times, how long would 12 bats last you? Depending on what particular model I was using, weight, wood, I would say 8 to 10 cookouts. Of course, being born and raised in the state of Wisconsin, my first major league game played at County Stadium. And I've told this story before, but it bears repeating because it was a thrill to me, my family, my relatives, after all the grief that my parents went through to get me out of Wales, Wisconsin, and to standing on the field that day at County Stadium, and Bertie Tebbets, our manager, coming up to me and asking me if I was nervous or uptight about the game. And I said I wasn't. And he said, well, look, I know a lot of your relatives are here. Don't be uptight. Don't be nervous. I said, I'm not. I've been in the minor league 6 years waiting to get here. And Juan Marichal, who was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, was a pitcher that day. And hell, I had his gum card. I knew everything about Juan Marichal. And Bertie said, well, you're in there. And don't be uptight. I said, I'm not. I'm ready. And he said, by the way, the rest of us up here wear that supporter on the inside. I think the one question asked of catchers more than anything else, and I think Harry knows this, and Tony Kubek, my good friend over here, Denny, catchers and pitchers, they're always walking out to the mound. People say they want to know what you talk about. I've had it happen where maybe I've eaten a real bad lunch, and rather than be offensive to 2 other people, you just take a walk. Maybe a piece of my equipment snapped. And I might want to remind the pitcher to throw the ball high. Baseball's been a lot of fun to me, it really has. If I could have been good. You look at guys that hit their 320, 330 every year. What the hell do they have to look forward to? I figured if I could stay around maybe 190, maybe 1 or 2 RBIs a year, try to get them both in September, where you're not going to take that big cut. I never made a big salary. I think the biggest salary I made in baseball was $10,000. And 4,000 of that came from selling other players' equipment. Players have slumps. I don't care what you play, everybody has slumps. I think they're more mental than anything else. My first one, 1962. And to stay with yourself, to battle it, you're going to come out of it. And in 1967, there it was. I used to figure every year at the end of the year, if I laid off all winter, it would go away, but every spring, it was right back. I can remember talking to my father many times. You'd be in a slump, maybe an O for June or July. And the things he used to say to me, why in the hell don't you get a job? I'm not going to stand up here and tell you everything was peaches and cream, because it wasn't. I can remember a thing the Dodgers pulled on me one time. I came up in the 9th inning of a ball game, bases loaded, 2 outs, and we're down by a score of 2-1. And right before I stepped in the box, I looked in the Dodger dugout, and they were sitting there with their street clothes on. Instead of the catcher putting a sign down, just hollering out and telling the guy what to throw. My kids used to aggravate me. They always wanted to ride home with a different player. As I said before, I've had a lot of fun in baseball. The Rawlings Sporting Goods Company paid me a tremendous amount of money, never to be seen with any of their equipment. But as your career gets down to an end, there's no more trades or being released. Being sold. You're being released. There is no more. It's a very trying time. I can remember the waning days of my career, trying to rejuvenate my career through the media. The Boy Scouts had planned a project for me here in the state of Wisconsin to plant a tree for every base hit I got. And the area turned into an erosion area, bad scene. No matter what, I've had a great time. I've really had a great time playing baseball. 6 years ago, going over to Japan with Hank Aaron, when Henry participated in the home run hitting contest against Sadahara O. And I was involved in a contest against Prince Akihito, the Emperor's kid. Little short, skinny Japanese kid. I figured I'd bury him, I thought it was totally unfair because the kid had never played baseball, and the Japanese people thought that would make it even. And it's been a lot of fun for me, as I said. Not only my playing career, but of course coming back and being able to be a member of the Brewer broadcast team along with my partner, Dwayne Mosley, who does a hell of a job. He really does. He does.
Please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you get notified when we post another great episode or interview. Download the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for your support.